I gave you a definition, or at least my definition of what desperation is. Desperation is the moment when life no longer looks anything like the story you told yourself it would be. Let me say it again. Desperation is when you and I get to the moment when life no longer looks like the story we told ourselves it was going to be. Because you remember the story we told ourselves, don't you? We were going to be the CEOs. We were going to own the company. We were going to be millionaires. We were going to have a great marriage. We were going to raise amazing kids. I was going to live to be 100. That's the story we told ourselves. But then we lost the job. Or the doctor called us in and said, we see something there on the scan. The son or the daughter made a decision that broke our hearts. Or the one who said, I do, didn't, and they walked away. And we realize that the story we hoped for, the story we told, the story that we dreamed of is not the story that we're living. And maybe that's where some of us find ourselves today. Desperate. With that kind of hurt that just hasn't landed. And it's been weeks, maybe months, maybe years. Some of us are desperate because we're like the prodigal. We've just kind of wandered away. We've made choices that we knew at the time were probably not good choices, but they're the choices we wanted to make. We walked away from God, and, it hasn't ended up very well. The consequences are starting to catch up with us. Some of us are desperate. We've got that ache deep inside of our heart that just won't go away, and you've stayed faithful. I mean, you've read your Bible, you've even given, you've served, you've raised your kids in church, you honored your marriage, you were faithful and consistent to His house, and yet you still feel like that young man. You still feel like you're in the pig pen. The diagnosis came anyways. You lost your job anyways. The marriage crumbled anyways. Your child walked away anyways. And the grief, it just wouldn't leave. In other words, it's not a desperation of guilt for you. Maybe it's a desperation of confusion. God, I don't understand. Why am I here? I honored you. Why does it feel that you're so far away? I didn't run from you, so why does it feel that you're punishing me? See, this is a different kind of pig pen, but it still smells the same. It's still lonely. It's still painful. That's what I call the desperation of the faithful, or the faithful suffering. And whether it comes from rebellion or whether it comes from brokenness, it can be dangerous. Because desperation can move us towards God, but it's in our desperation that the enemy loves to whisper. He loves to get into our ear because we are at the end of our rope. There's so many things that we've tried that just haven't seemed to work. To those of us who have wandered away, maybe made a bad decision or two along the way, he whispers, you're just too far gone, man. You've just done it too many times. You've made so many promises that you've never kept. Here you are again, begging God to do something. You've just blown it this time. God's not going to step in on your behalf. And for those of us who find ourselves desperate, even though we have stayed faithful, the enemy loves to whisper to you too, doesn't he? I don't guess it matters, does it? Your faithfulness really hadn't made a difference. I mean, maybe God doesn't even keep His promises. Maybe it's just all a game, because after all, if it's true, why in the world would you find yourself in the pig pen that you do? The reality is they're both lies and they're both devastating, but they then lead to comparison. We saw it in our story. The prodigal says, my servant's got it better. The pig's got it better than I do. The faithful sufferer compares himself and says, why do their prayers always get answered? Why is their marriage seem to be so close? Why do their kids get the scholarship? Why do we always seem to be struggling financially? And what I've discovered over the years is even when the pain is unbearable, even when the sense of desperation, you just feel the rope slipping out of your hands, we still often won't surrender. There's something within us that just continues. Say, no way. The prodigal, well, he doesn't want to surrender because, man, you gotta go home and admit you were wrong. You got to apologize to your kids or your spouse or your parents or your coworker or your supervisor or your whoever it is that warned you. You were going in the wrong direction. You're making some bad decisions. It's like, God, just help me. I don't know if I can do that. To the faithful sufferer, we resist to surrender as well, but it's for a different reason. See, we don't want to surrender if you've been faithful to God because, well, you did everything right, and it seems unfair. I mean, you prayed, you gave, you served, you loved, you forgave. You did everything that you know to do, and yet you're in the pig pen? I shouldn't have to humble myself. After all, I didn't cause this. It wasn't a bad decision. I shouldn't have to ask for help. I've always been the one asking others or helping others. I shouldn't have to walk through this process. God should just fix it. And those who are suffering within their faith, right, with a sense of desperation that God hasn't done what you thought that he should do, are often singing that song and praying that God would just zap it away. Just give me more money. Just heal my marriage. Just take away the cancer. But God is often doing something deeper than our comfort. God is after our transformation. Hey guys, before you go, I just want to remind you that God is not finished with you yet. No matter what maybe you've experienced in the past, there is a great future ahead. And if you heard something that encouraged you, why not take a moment and share it with somebody? If you haven't already, be sure and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you here next time.